So time for another workshop update. I think it looks a bit different to the last time. Still got the M4 on the lift, making good progress on that. I'm quite excited about this because it's probably going to be the first 1,000 horsepower car that I've been involved in building, I guess. And we've got some cool Ice Engine Works blocks that have arrived to mock up downpipes with, and this will be the first project we use these on. These are like Lego, but for exhaust fabricators. We've talked about these before, but you might not have watched that video. So yeah, they're pretty cool. That's going to help with that. Justin's car's here. He needs to repair his slave cylinder again after a fairly disastrous Brands Hatch time attack. Less said of that, the better, I think. And then the Mini's in. Subframe's back up. We've got the Powerflex bushes in, the lower arms. So that's what I basically stripped it all down for in the first place. They're going to be, it should hopefully drive like a totally different car because the old bushes were totally shagged. So it's got all new ball joints, inner and outer ball joints, but everything else we're keeping the same. So standard shocks and springs, standard brakes. I want to try and not go too crazy with mods to start with. Just kind of drive it around Barton Park or Cadwell or something and then kind of do it bit by bit. I sometimes think if you do too many mods all at once, you lose some of the enjoyment of modifying and building a car because you kind of make too many changes and then you run out of stuff to do. Sam's car the Skyline is really close to finish now. Well, finished, but I mean, like kind of done as far as we're concerned. It pretty much just needs plumbing up now, so we're going to get some cool Pro Gold fittings and lightweight lines on that. No progress on K20 Astra. I'm not sure when there will be. Struggling to find time and motivation to work on that one. I was motivated to start with, and then I kind of got distracted by other things. Bought a new car, which you'll see soon, hopefully. And then other than that, we've just been getting through Yaris systems. I can't believe how much that's taken off, really. Like we've always sold quite a few exhausts for different, various models, but the Yaris stuff really seems to have taken off. It's just, the market is just growing so big, so quickly. And yeah, I mean, we genuinely can't keep up with it. There is just, me, Matt and Jake doing fabrication, and Jake tends to do all of the Fabco stuff, silencers and mandrel bends and things. So yeah, it's a bit tricky in terms of figuring out how we're going to keep up with that, I guess. We might have to grow a bit, which I don't really want to do, but you might have to. And we've got a downpipe still to come for these as well. We haven't even made the jig for the downpipe. And I think there's quite a few people after those as well, really. And we've also got the single exit system that Phil wanted. It's with a cat in the tailpipe. We've still got that to jig and finish. One thing I've been meaning to do for ages is rejig the MQB downpipe. So that's Audi S3 8V and then Mark 7 and 10.5 Golf R. We made these originally like 3.5, 4 years ago now. Ran out of flanges and just never made any more. For some reason, I just kind of never restocked it. It's because they have like a couple of very specific mandrel bends that we've just, like every time the 3-inch tooling's been on the bender, I've either just forgot to do it or what have you. So we've got it done now. We're going to get this rejigged and get another batch of these in progress because these were actually quite popular. We sold a few of these. So I'm keen to get on with that. And the other one is GTR downpipes. We've rejigged, well not rejigged, but originally we used like a big billet flange on the GTR downpipes and it made them quite expensive. I mean, they were like £1,000 a pair, like a £500 downpipe. But this time we're just going to go with a laser cut flange and then form that oval to round transition ourselves. It seems like in the GTR world there's people that don't like that because they think, the welds break or whatever. But the welds don't break if, they're welded correctly. So I guess we'll prove some people wrong with that. I bought a cordless grinder. It's quite cool. Been meaning to buy one for ages and finally got around to it. I haven't really used it much yet. Oh, I've got some bits for the van. For a while, since the van's been back on the road, I've had problems with charging the battery, but I can't work out exactly why. The battery's just been going flat. I put it down to the fact that the battery that was on it had been flattened 2 or 3 times, and I thought maybe it wasn't in the best condition anymore. So I put a new battery on it, and it still was draining. It's got like 1/2 amp constant drain on it, which is like borderline what you'd want, but still not enough to flatten it over a week. I mean, I only really do short journeys, but hopefully a new alternator is going to fix that, because I think it might be overcharging. It's something I can try at least. I mean, they're not mega money. And again, the one that's been on it's been on it for 150,000 miles. And then I also need a new lift pump, because it's starting to get very noisy now. I noticed it when Warren was here and we were doing the mapping. But yeah, it's starting to get super noisy. So yeah, I've got a genuine Bosch lift pump. So yeah, kind of drain the tank down and probably get that fitted soon. And another exhaust manifold gasket, because anyone that's had a high power, highly strung diesel, well Z19 specifically, they do tend to blow sometimes. It's one of the disadvantages of this gasket or this flange is that the diesels do tend to run quite a high manifold pressure and temperature, and it's a challenge to keep this end of the gasket sealed. So there's basically only one bolt in this corner here. There's one bolt here and one bolt here. The same on both sides, but this side, which is kind of it just always seems to end up blowing after a while. Warren's had problems with it in the past, and you know, I'm experiencing it on my own van now. I've done about 1,500 miles, but it wasn't a genuine gasket I put on. So I've got a genuine gasket now, and hopefully it should last a bit longer. But again, this is like some of the thing to do with like research and development. You sometimes have to try these things and drive them around for a few thousand miles before you figure out what goes wrong. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. I think that's about all we've been getting on with. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot. You know, there's quite a lot of work gone on with the Mini and the BMW and the Sam Skyline. Plus all the other stuff we've been doing. I'm sure there's other stuff, I just can't think what it is. A lot of mandrel bends, a lot of silencers. Yeah, I've hopefully got a new car to show you soon.